Mel Albin. I'm the host and the founder of the Jazz Confusion
My
Power
name
Hour.
is Dion Parson, and I'm honored to share my passion of music with you, our listening audience, through my cultural heritage.
Things can change for you too. If you want to be brand new, that is absolutely possible.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Jazz Confusion Power Hour on the Source TV radio network. I'm your host. I'm the founder of the Jazz Confusion Power Hour. My name is Mel Albin, and the reason I started this show was because it's become increasingly difficult for artists to get the exposure on radio or TV so that their fans not only know their music, but know how they go about creating that music. And it creates a much stronger attachment between the artist and the fan. And that was the reason for it. I want to take you back and behind the mind of the artist and so you understand more about how they create the music that you love. The Power Hour broadcasts weekly on the Source Radio Network. You stream live in 4K, and we're the only station on air that broadcasts in Dolby True HD, so the sound quality is as good as it can be. Source is a nonprofit 501c3 radio station supporting jazz, and we support the Black minority micro businesses to help them build scale so they get on the finance industry radar and ultimately create and increase the generational transfer of wealth, assisting both family and community to create equality and equity. We depend on listener contributions and artists who appear on our shows for mutual support and also sponsors to cover our costs of broadcasting. So any contribution you make to Source keeps jazz alive and helps support minority businesses that are often too small to be on Amazon or Shopify. Your donations are greatly appreciated, and remember, they're always tax deductible. The Power Hour has had over 125 amazing artists, well known and becoming well known, musicians and vocalists, songwriters, and also some business managers, musician managers. Some of the artists on the Power Hour include Eric Roberson, Mesa, Brian Culbertson, Paul Brown, Raheem DeVaughn, Reagan Whiteside, Alex Harris, Greg Adams, Tom Brown, Costella, Eric Darius, Kiko Matsui, Kim Scott, Mesa, I mentioned Mesa already, I think, to you, Cheryl Crow, Billy Ocean, Annie Lennox, Dwelle, Maria Antoinette, Jay Brown, Miss Monet, Yulia, Blake Aaron, her, Celine Johnson, Aaron Stevenson, Mavis Swan Poole, Cecily, the late Bobby Caldwell, Jeff Bradshaw, Dion Parson, Tammy McCann, Jeff Beck, Eric Burden, Mickey Howard, and many others. I just want to give you a flavor for the diversity of the kind of artists that appear on the Power Hour. Tonight's guest is no exception. We have a smooth soul R&B singer-songwriter, crossing genres from R&B, pop, smooth jazz, and adult contemporary. Her velvety voice is sultry smooth with a jazzy edge. Early in her career, she was in an all-girl group called Girls in the Mix, performing all originals, opening for War at the Ventura Theatre. In 2006, she independently released her debut CD, Love is a Rock, and after much anticipation, released her sophomore CD, Stay With Me, in 2010. Nominated in 2009 and 2010 for Jazz Artist of the Year and winner of Jazz Album of the Year for the 2010 Los Angeles Music Awards with their EP Stay With Me. In 2013, she independently released a new single, Release Me, celebrating music producer Monty Seward, best known for his work with Vanessa Williams and Howard Hewitt. Release Me reached number 7 in the UK Top 30 Soul charts. In 2014, she signed with Intervision Records, and in 2015, released her third CD, Take Me Higher, becoming the first radio single released through Intervision Records. The single reached number 3 on the Groove Jazz charts, number 26 on Billboard, and number 6 for the top 100 songs of 2015 for Groove Jazz. Her single, Take Me Higher, and the CD were Grammy considered the best R&B performance and best R&B album. In November of 2016, she was presented with the Outstanding Live Jazz Performer Award for the 2016 Producer's Choice on this red carpet event in Hollywood, California. She has shared the stage with some of the industry's top musicians, such as Najee, Blake Aaron, Marion Meadows, Paul Brown, Darren Ron, Everett Harp, just to name a few. She also opened for Greg Adams' Tower of Power and his East Bay Soul Band, and also Gerald Albright and Norman Brown in San Diego. As a result of two auto accidents, one is a hit and run, she had to temporarily halt her music career, but she didn't waste time. During this time, she performed a lot of philanthropic work and also mentored young aspiring female singer-songwriters like herself. And now she looks back at she's back at her first love, creating her own music. A one-time in-demand jazz music radio host, her goals for 2025 are to release new music and continue consulting with new female artists and expand using her hosting skills for music festivals and shows. She also recently became a SAG-AFTRA eligible and became a member in May of this year and has been working on several TV shows, films, and commercials. Please welcome to our show the extraordinarily gifted and diverse and lovely Aysha. Welcome, Aysha.
Thank you. What an introduction.
Well, it's well deserved. I want people to know your accomplishments, and they're so varied, and that sets you apart from a lot of musicians or a lot of vocalists who just have single careers. You have multiple careers. So
thank you.
So I'm so pleased you could be here. I've been following you for many years, and I'm glad you're back to creating your own music again.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, we're going to play some of that music so people can hear your wonderful voice and some of the original songs that you've written. So I like to start off the show each week with what's cooking. We're near the end of 2024. So why don't you start off by telling everyone what's cooking? What are you doing for 2025? Yeah, what are you doing for 2025? New releases, performances, etc.
Oh, I've got a lot of things in the works. Some that I can't really talk about, but just know it's all involving new music, some new live performances, working with some different groups, and I'm also pursuing my acting. So I've got a lot of things going all at once. I'm really excited about 2025 because, new music coming out. I've been writing a lot, but I just haven't gotten back in the studio yet. So I'm really excited to get back in there and do that. So you can definitely expect some new music.
Terrific. And we're going to talk about music writing, also about another facet of your career later on in the show. But that's a good start. I want to give everybody some background on how you came to music. Was it music in your household? How did you know when music was going to be your calling? What was your family life like? Where did you grow up? How did the community influence or the local environment influence your musical choices? So why don't you tell people a little bit about that period?
Wow. Well, I'll try to do the edited version because I have quite a strange background. But I was adopted when I was 6 weeks old. So I grew up with a family that obviously wasn't blood related and was not musical at all. Listened to very little music in the house, but I always had a passion for music. And it was typically growing up as a youngster, I listened to R&B. That was my favorite type of music when I was young. My first album that I bought, or two albums, was War and the Shy Lights.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so I didn't have any type of push or anything from the family. But when I was in elementary school, I really was drawn to music, and I joined a glee club in elementary school, like the junior glee club, and then in junior high school as well. And my childhood was a little rough, So I resorted to music as therapy. And even in past things, that's kind of what I do. I just submerge myself into music to just get in a different place, and it takes me to a better place.
Okay. So how did you pursue music in public school? What did you do?
So, like I said, I had joined the Glee Club, and then after I got out of school, because I was very athletic, so I kind of stopped with the music and was on the swim team and all that during high school. But right out of high school, I started dating a drummer. That was kind of like my first real boyfriend, and I would go to rehearsals with him all the time. And I was like, man, I really want to sing, but I was very insecure about it. And he's the one that convinced me to try out for a band. And so I tried out for a local band in Santa Barbara where I grew up, and I got the gig. And so that kind of just started this whole thing. I was working at a bank at the time. So they used to say, oh, you're a banker by day and a rock star at night, because we'd play at these nightclubs till, we'd get done at 2:00 in the morning. And then I'd be back at the bank at 8:00 in the morning. When you're young, you can do those things. But that's kind of how I got started into it. And I was part of the Santa Barbara Oratorial Chorale, so a choral society. One of the roommates that I had was a member of it, and it was all older people. I was the youngest one in the choral group. And I didn't read music, but I could follow the note pattern. And I don't know how I got through it, but they actually gave me some solos. So that got me listening to other types of music as well. So I would say I'm actually really eclectic in the type of music that I like as well. But
how old were you at this point?
Let's see. Just before I turned 20 is when I started with the band. And then I think I must have been maybe 21 or 22 when I joined the choral society. So I was doing both of those at the same time, two completely different types of music.
Sure,
but
obviously, yeah. An artist I always found has great comments was Chuck Berry. And Chuck Berry said when he started to play the guitar, he tried out for a band. They took him right away, and they said, "You're in." He said, "No, I'm not. If you want to take me, knowing how little I know, I don't need you." He said, "I'm not going to learn anything from you guys, so I'm moving on."
Yeah, no one knew I didn't know how to read music in the choral society.
Yeah, yeah. And when they started rejecting him, those are the bands he wanted to be in. Yeah. So, yeah, those first gigs, the first bands you play with, it's it's an exciting part of the development of your musical career.
Oh, I'll never forget, because I auditioned with a Madonna song and got the gig, and they were having a performance, I think 3 days later. So this had choreographed dance routines and everything. I was just a background singer with we did a couple of our own lead songs. It was two girls background, and then a gentleman that sang lead, and we did Prince and Sheila E. It was a cover band. And I literally stayed up all night learning everything, and I actually pulled it off 3 days later on stage.
That's great. That's great. How does Santa Barbara influence your music at all? Because I find often the city you're raised in does affect your musical influence.
I don't really. How did it influence it? Well, it's definitely not a place that you can do a lot, which is why I moved to Los Angeles. But there are a lot of talented people there. There's just not a lot that's going on from there. So when I found the group, we formed like 3 or 4 other groups out of that initial group, which then that's how Girls in the Mix came to be. It was part of the other girl from the first group. But I really can't say how it was different or then being in Los Angeles, the music, probably not as competitive, I would say. So maybe it might have been a little bit easier to get started in the industry and build up a little thick skin for any type of rejection from, trying to get booked somewhere. Because we got booked everywhere. We were the band to get booked constantly.
Yeah, I see. The reason I'm asking you, if you're born in Chicago, for example, Chicago blues. You're born in Kansas City, it's jazz and blues. You're born in Austin, Texas. You have Southern soul, a lot of that. So that's why I asked. Sometimes the environment influences the musical decisions. When did you move to LA? How old were you then?
I was in my late 20s. Okay. I was in my late 20s when I moved to LA. But Santa Barbara's pretty eclectic. So you had the surfers, so you had the Beach Boy music type of stuff, but you had a lot of R&B, you had rock, it was very eclectic. So there wasn't really any one style of music that was heard more than the other.
Clubs? Were there clubs you went to regularly?
Oh yeah. We performed at a lot of the different clubs, and it was dance music. We were a top 40 band, so
okay.
That's what we played until we got to the originals in the other group.
Who were some of your early music influences? I know you just mentioned different genres.
Back then, I loved Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Who didn't?
I loved Simon and Garfunkel.
I know Paul.
Wow.
I went to Queens. We were at Queens College together.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the OJs. A lot of R&B. I listened to Smokey Robinson, Stylistics. Oh. It was all the R&B stuff, wow. Mainly.
That's great. Yeah, because I know I've read somewhere that some of your musical influence included Sade.
Right. When that came out, that happened later on, but initially when I was younger.
Yeah, and Phyllis Hyman.
Mm-hmm.
Phyllis Hyman.
Farrell.
Hyman, to me, her career never really went where it could have gone because obviously of her tragic end. But that she was just an amazing talent. So I read that these are some of the musical influences that you had also, and I can understand them. I listen to your music.
Mm.
So when you left Girls in the Mix and you decided to go solo, how did you make that decision? And what would you go ahead?
Well, we competed in a battle of the bands in Santa Barbara, and we won. But there happened to be a gentleman by the name of Al Franklin. He was from Los Angeles, and he was part of an entertainment company, I guess probably there to scout new talent. And after the show, he came up to me and he said that he would love to work with me on a solo project. And he had a lot of producers that he could line me up with in Los Angeles. So I said, what about the whole group? And he's like, well, he says, I really have a vision for something with a solo career for you. And so I said, okay. I said, let me get back to you. And I spoke with the girls, and they were happy for me, and they said, take this opportunity. So I would drive back and forth from Santa Barbara to Los Angeles for a while, and then they found a replacement for me with Girls in the Mix. I'm not sure if it lasted very much longer, but there's John. Hey, John. John was actually one of the producers that I worked with at the beginning through this gentleman, Al Franklin.
Okay.
So, but as time went on, I was like, why am I driving back and forth? Let me just move to Los Angeles. So I packed up and moved to LA. And then shortly after that, the entertainment company's doors shut and I was working a day job.
And so it goes for most musicians.
Right. Well, I'm trying not to have to do that, but.
Yeah. Well, everyone tries not to do it. So when your solo career began, what was your first major performance?
Oh, let's see. My first major paid performance.
Yeah, when you said, I've made it, I'm here.
Well, I don't know how I made it, but I'll remember when I was in Los Angeles. Well, actually, solo career. Okay. I was in Los Angeles, and a friend of mine, Joseph Cannon, he's an actor, very good actor. He put on a showcase at this place called Maskers Cabaret over near a place called the Beverly Center off of Melrose. And this was my very, very first performance in LA doing my own original material. And it was just myself. My MD was Early McAllister. He played saxophone and Iwi. And I had a drummer, Carrie Griffin, and I had a keyboard player who played keys and bass keys, Demetrius Collins. And then I had a background singer, Dianya. And so 3-piece band, really, and a background singer. And it was so much fun. And I was like, okay, I think I can do this solo. As a group, you've got all the other people around you, so you're not the only one, you're not the only focus, but being able to do, my own thing and have my own band, and it just felt so good. And it was just so much fun. So that's when I knew that, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how courageous it is to move from the back to the front. And you're no longer singing the harmonies, you're singing everything.
Right.
And it's a total change in perspective, and it's for a lot of artists, it's frightening.
Yeah. Actually, though, it's kind of funny you say that, because I recently did a show where I sang background, and it was for a Stevie Wonder show. And it's a whole different animal doing background. It's actually not that easy just doing background.
No, it's not.
I mean, and to blend and to do it, without putting your own little flavor into it, you've got to blend with the other background singer. And so, kudos to background singers. They're talented.
I'm working on a show called I've Got Your Back. And the show is about background. It's a contest between background singers. We have a lead singer who's very well known, and then people sing backgrounds, and the panel chooses who's the best background singer, because it's a whole different genre, a whole different thing, from being a lead vocalist. It's not easy.
It's a whole different animal. Yeah. That's a cool show. I like that concept.
It's for the people who often make the music as good as it is and don't get recognition for it.
Right.
Look at Lisa Fisher, who for years was the background singer.
Lisa Fisher.
Yeah, and she came solo and won a Grammy. She has an amazing voice, but for years she was in the background. A lot of people didn't even know who she was.
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, let's play another one of your songs. Okay, let's play the first song, I should say. Take Me Higher. And I know that you would sign with Intervision Records, and this was a special release for Intervision. It was the first radio hit for them, I think.
Yeah, so it was the first single released through Intervision Records. And
so tell everybody the backstory on the title track, Take Me Higher.
So I had been working on this album, which was originally going to be called Released or something like that, because just going through a transition and in my life with relationships and all of that, and I felt like I could be free to be me and all that. But I got asked to do the Dubai Jazz Festival. Went to Dubai and performed, and all the people that were playing the main band and the different artists, we just became a tight little family there for the 9 days that we were there. And on the way back, flying back, Darren Ron, who was one of the performers there, we sat on the plane coming back. And he just said, something is in my heart to work with you and do a song for you. He says, if you can get yourself to Colorado, he says, I'll put you up and we can write a song together. And I'm like, that sounds amazing. So I flew out there a few months later, and it was one of the easiest, fun. It was just an amazing experience. We wrote so well together. We just sat at the keyboard and we started playing with sounds and decided first, what do I want to do? Upbeat, ballad, or what did we want to do? So once we got a little vibe going, we started writing to it, and it just flowed. And we finished it that week. Wrote it and recorded it, and I flew back. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to make this the title track. And the whole thing about Take Me Higher, the song came about because I was on a spiritual journey with my then boyfriend. And it's kind of the story about our spiritual journey, which is why it's saying Take Me Higher. Okay. So that's how it came about. And once we finished it, though, we both looked at each other and we said, I think we have a hit. And so it was.
And it was.
It was. It did very well. I was very excited and happy that it did so well.
Okay, well, I'd like to do is play for everybody Take Me Higher. And this is Take Me Higher by Aysha.
Around, take me higher, take me higher.
can reach that higher, reaching higher. Step on in, this is where it all begins. To take you higher, step on in, this is where it all begins. To take you higher, step on in, this is where it all begins. To take you higher, step on in, this is where it all begins. To take you higher, higher.
Great song.
Thank you.
I love that song. And you have some people commenting. Daryl Pearson, excellent arrangement.
Yeah.
It never steps on your smooth vocals. Cool. I think he's
Thank
right.
you, yeah.
The arrangement is excellent. Who does your arranging?
That was Darren Ron.
Darren Ryan? Okay, that
He's-
explains
he
a lot.
is so talented. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
talented.
that explains a lot. And yeah, another comment, Carlos Castaneda, great funky soulful groove.
Thank you.
Another one, Elias Kokawa, great lyrics, superb voice.
Thank you.
So, yeah,
Making me smile.
Yeah, I've had people loving your music, you know? I mean, that's one of the nice things about this show. People that tune in know they're going to hear from some great guests and they just really appreciate the music. So,
Well, it makes me feel really good to know that people appreciate it because that's what it's all about.
so after you did Take Me Higher, what came next?
Then I started working on the new rest of the songs for that CD, and we released it in 2015, and did some touring. Went to Nashville in 2016 to also promote it, and they actually had me host the Music City Jazz Festival as well as be a performer on it. So
That's great.
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I want to do more of that.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep my time frame together. Before you did Take Me Higher, you did Stay With Me. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So, you know, I'm some of the songs that are on here I just really love. And Stay With Me, the title track from that LP, I love also. Tell me a little bit more about that project.
So this is kind of funny. My very first album, Love Is a Rock, I did not think it was a smooth jazz album. And I was, oh, there's Charlotte. I met her doing in Nashville at the Music City Jazz Festival, and we've been friends ever since.
Great.
So when I released my first album, I thought it was more pop R&B type of thing. And I did my first radio interview, and they said, when did you decide to be a jazz singer? And I said, well, I didn't know I was. That's not what my intention was. I was like, what? But I got that more than once. So on CD Baby, when they used to sell CDs on CD Baby, I was stuck in a few different categories. One of them was smooth jazz, and turned out radio was not as expensive to promote on the smooth jazz side as it was the R&B side. So I thought, well, let me just go with it. So when I did my second album, I said, let's put out a smooth jazz record. So it was done with the intention of it sounding more smooth jazz. So hence a lot more saxophone and just the whole vibe of the record. So a good friend, Kevin Dorsey, was working with me on some of the songs, and he had some songs from a previous project that they were doing on someone from the Philippines, but somehow the project never got released in the US. So he says, I have some songs that I think would be perfect for you. So he let me listen, and I said, I love these these three. So three of the songs on that project were from Kevin. Zane Giles was the writer of the song. So that's I Remember Your Love, Dreamin', and Keep on Loving Me. Amazing songs. And the musicians behind it, just all top notch. And the production was just fantastic. And then Stay With Me, the title track, came about because I was at Monty Seward's new studio, visiting his new studio, and was checking it out and getting ready to leave. And he's like, "Oh, you can't leave until we write something. You can't just come and not write something." And I was like, looking at my watch, okay. So we sat down and started playing with some different vibes, and we got something that we liked. He left the room. I wrote the hook, came back in. He says, okay. Took it home, wrote to it that night, came back, and we recorded it. So then I thought, I want all live musicians on this. So he put together a great team. We had Derek Organ on drums, Larry Campbell on bass, Wayne Lindsay on keys, Norman Merton on guitar, and Monty also played some keys on it. And I was saying, I want Everett Harp on saxophone.
Let me interrupt you.
Sure.
Why made you decide you wanted a live band on this particular project?
Well, because all the other songs were all live musicians as well. I Remember Your Love. Nothing was just program music from keys or sound. So I wanted it just to have that feel all the way through.
Well, a lot of live music, they're not in the same studio. It's still live musicians.
Yeah, right. They do their part and somebody else does another part.
I can always tell the difference.
So So they all got in one room, with the exception of Everett. He put his sax on later, but and they played the song through twice, and I'm like, we don't need to do it again. We got it. But as I was listening to it, I'm like, my vocal doesn't go with this, because it had more of an organic vibe to it, but I loved it. So I said, let's redo the vocal. So we redid the vocal completely to the new track of the live session. And I love that song. And it was just,
again, I just want our listeners to understand this. How do you make that decision that, I want to redo my vocals because now it's a live track? What changed for you when you heard it?
I wish I could play the original track. I have it somewhere, but it just had a little different bit of a groove. So putting my original vocal with it, it just didn't fit well.
So it's really intuitive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I pride myself. I have a very good ear. And so I can hear things that, I'll say, no, this is off. I need to redo that. No, it sounds fine. And then I redo it and they go, oh, you're right. I just have a very, very good ear. I'm very critical about my work. And so, but Monty agreed. And so we got to use Kashif's studio, which was pretty awesome. And we literally started, midday, and we finished at 6:00 in the morning. It was an all-nighter. And he had me doing the high parts at the end of the session. I'm like, you're kidding me. I'm barely awake. But it was really fun. And we finished it up that night because I had to redo everything. And that's how it went. And then I asked Everett, and he agreed to play on it. And that was the icing on the cake.
Terrific. Well, look, let's play Stay With Me for everybody. And then we'll come back and chat some more, okay?
Of sun, you warm my soul. Without your love, you know it'd be so cold. Wrap me in your arms, keep me safe and warm, safe and warm. Being here with you makes me feel so free. Well, can this be forever? I'm not afraid to say you're the one for me. So come on, baby, stay with me. Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Stay with me. Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Stay with me. Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. With you is where I wanna be. Where I wanna be. I can't imagine how my life would be without you, darling, here, right next to me. What more can I say? You take my breath away. Oh yeah. Lying here with you, it's like a fantasy, and it feels like heaven. Baby, stay with me, and we'll share ecstasy. So come on, baby, stay with me. Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Baby, won't you stay with me tonight, stay with me now. You is where I wanna be. It's right here with you, baby. Right here with you. When I look into your eyes, I know for sure you're the one for me. I want you more and more. Now I know what love can truly be. Now that I found you, so come on, baby, stay with me. Stay with me. You know I wanna feel your body next to me. I never wanna be without you. Do I wanna be? Baby, baby, stay with me, stay with me now. Come on, baby, stay with me. Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Where I wanna be, where I wanna be. Come on, baby, stay with me. You is where I wanna be. Baby, baby, stay with me. Stay with me now. Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Here with you is where I wanna be. Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Baby, won't you stay with me? Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Oh, baby, stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Where I wanna be. Come on, baby, stay with me. Come on, baby, stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Stay with me now. Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Oh, 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 baby, stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Where I wanna be. Come on, baby, stay with me. Stay with me tonight, stay with me now. Oh, baby, baby, stay with me tonight, stay with me now. I wanna stay with you, stay with me now. Stay with you tonight. Where I wanna be. Baby, baby, can't you see? Come on, baby, stay with me. I want you, baby. You is where I wanna be. It's where baby, baby, can't you see? Where I wanna be. Oh, come on, baby, stay with me.
Oh, wow. I love these tracks.
Thank you.
And what's nice about them, that no two sound the same at all. I can't say, oh, I've heard this before. It's everyone is different. It's great.
Thank you.
Here's Kenzie Coco. Your vocals are so special. I never heard you before, but now I'm hooked.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And there's more, I think. Yep, here's another one. Lisa Collins, where are you performing next? I'm coming.
Actually, I'll answer that. I have a performance at Catalina Jazz Club on the 20th. Actually, I'm doing a Sade tribute at that show. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun, but lots of different artists are going to be performing. It's a benefit concert for musicians that don't have health insurance, for them to help get checked for prostate cancer. And it's also Victor Orlando's birthday, and it's his show, and I'm a special guest on it. So if you want to come out to that, it's the 20th.
Wonderful. 20th, terrific. And here's another comment. Leslie Richards, love the groove. You're amazing.
Thank you.
And let me run up a couple of your thank yous to people. Here's one of your thank yous.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another
I
one.
deleted that one because it said R. It's supposed to say ah.
Oh, well, it popped up here.
It deleted on my end. There we go.
There it is. Didn't delete on the show. Okay, so there are some thank yous from you. So, we're running out of time, and there's so much more I want to talk about. Briefly, this was a very productive period for you between 2013, 14, 15. In 2014, you formed a supergroup, Soul Seduction, and it featured yourself, guitarist JJ Sanseverino, saxophonist Will Donato, bassist Darryl Williams, drummer Tony Moore, and keyboardist vocalist Monty Seward. Just briefly, tell everybody about how this project came about.
I was at a show at Vitello's to support JJ and Will. They were doing a show together. And I was sitting there with my boyfriend at the time, and I'm like, man, it would be so great, because we're always sitting in on each other's shows. I said it would be so great to get like a little group together, like a super group of all the different artists, and do everybody's material. And so after the show, I asked them if that would be something they'd be interested in. They're like, yeah. And so the guy that I had been dating for almost 10 years, he was a men's clothing designer. He says, well, I'll do the wardrobe for him. So he would style them, and we got to tour, all over the West Coast, and it was so much fun. We played the Newport Beach Jazz Festival. We played up in Stockton, the University Village waterfront concert, and we did Spaghettini. With Vitello's vibrato, and it was so much fun. And we've always talked about, let's do a reunion, because it just our very first one was on day after Valentine's Day in Beverly Hills at a place called Home, and it was like guerrilla marketing, passing out flyers, on the streets, because we promised all the musicians a certain amount of money. We're like, we got to at least make enough so that we can cover that. And we had just gotten back from Sedona, because JJ and I went to Sedona to play on Valentine's Day, and then we drove back, and we hadn't had any sleep. So this whole performance was done on just adrenaline, and it was one of the best performances ever. The chemistry was just through the roof, and we're like, we have something special. And the audience said that as well. And so it was just like, yeah, we have something special. So we did it as long as we could. But JJ lives in New York, and it just got so expensive flying him in town all the time, which is really the only reason why we didn't keep continuing it.
Why didn't you do a recording out of it? That would have made a few dollars.
I know, and we thought about it, but yeah, it never came to fruition. But we had talked about that.
Okay, I'm curious. I have a curious question for you. Since you collaborated with so many artists, you could collaborate with any artist, vocalist, composer, arranger, musician, producer, anywhere in the world, in any time period, who would that be and why?
Oh my gosh, what a question. To collaborate and for composing, I would say probably Prince is my number one person, just because he was such a musical genius, so versatile.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the people that I would have wanted to have, write or produce something for me. But like, I would love to do a show with Gregory Porter and do a show together with him. I just think our vocals would sound really well together, and he's just so amazing. But
Prince's first LP, he played every instrument.
I know, just like I said, a musical genius.
Beyond the genius, and he was nobody ever like him.
Right.
So
Right.
anyway,
Gone way too soon.
well, yes, yeah. Well, let's play another song that was very well received. "Release Me." So why don't you tell the listeners and viewers a little bit about the background on this project?
So this was written by myself and Monty Seward, and this was the first song that I wrote for the Take Me Higher CD, which originally was going to be called "Released" because I had just broken up with someone and felt like a new person, and so I had met someone. It was just this whole feeling of just no inhibitions and just feeling great. And so we sat down and we wrote this song, and it was Monty and I, and then we got some different musicians to play on it. Had Michael White on drums, Daryl Crooks on guitar, Freddie Washington on bass.
Wow, I know Freddie Washington and Daryl Crooks. You got some good musicians there.
Yeah, no, has some great. Kevin Dorsey helped. He produced the vocal, and he's the one that got a lot of those musicians. And then Monty Seward produced all the music, and then the final mix.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
Okay, well let's play "Release Me," and then we'll come back and talk some more.
Okay.
Caress me so gently, baby. When you look at me, I get so weak inside. You found a way to reach deep in my soul. You set my spirit free, and now I'm letting go. I've got this burning fire inside of me, it's ready to explode. It's in the way when you release me. It's the night when you release me. Oh, how you release me. Please release me. It's the night when you come on, baby. Tonight, your passion, it fills me. Your loving, ooh, it thrills me. When you call my name out loud, well, I get so weak inside. Well, yes, I do. Can we take this love real soft and slow? The way you move my body, you know I'm about to lose control. You don't wanna take my time, explore each fantasy with you. 'Cause I love when you release me. It's the night when you release me. Oh, how you release me. release me.
Wow. You know, so far tonight, I've heard funk, I've heard jazz, I've heard soul. You know, this song is amazingly arranged. The music in it is stellar, and
Thank you.
it complements your voice so beautifully. This could be like a Sade style song. You know, something that you really should. If you do Sade, so I'd love to hear you do that.
Too bad you don't live here in LA,
Yeah, you know.
but maybe we'll bring it to a city near you.
Well, maybe I can help you do that too.
Okay, I like it.
Here's a great comment. This is from Natasha Gifford. I have this song. I love it. I must have played it 200 times. I can't believe you're alive on this show. I've always wanted to meet you.
Oh, I wonder where you're from. Thank you so much. Man, this really touches my heart.
Here's another one. Lois Smith. Love your voice. Such a great arrangement. You are still silky smooth, girl.
Oh, man.
So you're getting a lot of new fans.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I just it makes me feel so good that people like what I'm doing. It's just you have no idea.
Yeah, well, I don't want to dwell on misfortunes, but you've had at the end of this period that was so productive for you. You had 2 car accidents, and
Yeah.
and you know, but you still went on to do exceptional work. You backed away from music, but you did a lot of mentoring for young female vocalists and some philanthropy too. So why don't you briefly tell people about what you were doing during this hiatus from music?
So in that realm, you know, like you said, the mentoring of female artists, because I went through a lot of struggles and learning curves when I got into the business, being very naive, and so I just didn't want others to have to go through what I went through if they didn't have to. But I also have a huge heart for different organizations and charities that involve women and children and abuse, and I have some friends in the LA area that have some nonprofit organizations helping people. It's called Face Forward, and Face Forward is a nonprofit organization that helps people from all over the world from hate crimes and domestic violence, where they actually fly them in. They do reconstructive surgery on their face, with the agreement that if they're going to do this for them, they need to do something to give back to the world, to the community. And that just was, something that I thought was just such a beautiful thing. So they wanted me to be on the committee, but I couldn't commit the time, but I would help support with their events that they had and promote. And I always want to try and give back if I can in some way and help. So that's what I kind of put my focus on, was trying to see where I could volunteer my time. Special events like the concert that I'm doing on the 20th is, to help musicians that don't have insurance, to help get tested for prostate cancer and things like that. So I just put a lot of focus on what I could do to give back while I was recovering. And it really stuck with me, and it's something that I want to continue doing. So I've been working with Michael Broughton with Infinity Artists Group. He books a lot of my festival stuff. And we are teaming together to do some consulting and mentorship for some artists, upcoming artists and females, because he wants me to be able to help the females and to navigate, the road of getting involved in this business, because it can be pretty tricky sometimes. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, so that's what I did while I was recuperating, and
No, it wasn't really until COVID. If you look at the Songwriters Association of America, they had only like 8% were female artists who they recognized and awarded, and the rest were, and it wasn't until a few years ago. Now they've been trying to create a balance. For women in this industry, they never got recognition. They never got credit for songwriting. They never even got royalties.
Wow.
It was worse than it was, or as bad as it was for a lot of minorities. Like Little Richard, who never got the money from the songs that were so popular.
Right.
They never paid him his royalties, and he sued them. And people like Prince wanted to be independent. And he didn't want anybody controlling his music. But women were forgotten. Up until really 2020, it was the first time they took notice and said, we really have to have a few more women here, and honor them. Like for example, there are a lot of women engineers who never get recognized.
You don't hear of the female engineers.
No, and they've done remarkable work on so many albums. So so the work you're doing is wonderful. I want the people to know about it.
Thank you.
We're running out of time, so
I know.
The hour goes so fast. Just briefly tell people about, I know that you also are involved in acting. Why don't you tell people a little bit about that and some of the TV shows, film, commercials that you do some work on?
Yeah, I really wanted to I'm a creative just all the way around. I have a graphic design degree. I did all my artwork for my website and my packaging for CDs. I was in theater arts when I was younger, and I loved acting and I love music. So I wanted to just try and be able to stay in that lane instead of having to work a regular office job, because that's just not me. I want to be creative. I want to do things that I love. So I started doing background work, and I became SAG-AFTRA. So I'm a member of SAG, and I've worked on, a lot of comedy shows. I was on St. Dennis, which is a new show that just coming out. I was on Shrinking, which is a new one. I was on the Upshaws. I was on 911 Lone Star, 911. Not Dead Yet, The Morning Show. I was on a lot of different ones, and I was on the movie The Assistant too. So yeah, I love doing it, especially when I'm not on stage performing or in the studio. That's something that I love to do, and I'm working with a couple of different casting agencies and submitting, and some are calling me. So that's what I would like to do to fill the time when I'm not doing music. And so it's been a lot of fun.
I want to play the final song of the evening, and I'm going to have you come back again.
I would love to.
You create your new music in 2025. I definitely want you back, because there's so many things I wanted to talk about I never got to tonight. I wanted to spend time on songwriting, but we're not going to have the time to do it. So I'm going to play the final song of the evening, Send for Me Too. And And then maybe you can briefly tell everybody a little about it after I play it, and then we'll wrap up, okay?
Okay.
What was said, my baby? I thought that everything was fine. You say you've got to get away to find yourself. Oh, now baby, can't you tell? It's written all over my face. My days and nights would be a living hell if you go away. So think about the misery that you're gonna put me through. Oh, goodbye doesn't mean a thing for you and Our love has stood through all the tests of time. Yes, it has. And if you're planning to leave me behind, no, 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 let me put one more thing on your mind. If you ever need me, baby, send for me. I'm just a telephone call away. Send for me. Put a message in a bottle, baby. Message in a bottle, baby. Send for me. See, you're my everything, sweet baby. My whole world revolves around you. Nothing is what I am without you here in my life. Oh, it's true. Goodbye doesn't mean a thing for you and I. No, see, our love has stood through all the tests of time. Yes, it has. And if you're planning to leave me behind, no, no, let me put one more thing on your mind. If you ever need me, baby, send for me. I'm just a telephone call away. Send for me. Or put a message in a bottle, baby. Message in a bottle, baby. Send for me. Oh, 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 call away. Call me baby. I'll come running, I'll come running, I'll come running to you. Come on, send for me. Come on, send for me. You know I need you. Come on, send for me. Come on, send for me. To send for me, baby. Come on, send for me. I'll come running. Come on, send for me. I'll come running home. Think about me, baby. Come on, send for me. Think about you, baby. Come on, send for me. Send for me. Come on, send for me. Come on.
Oh, that's a beautiful ending. Well, beautiful song.
Thank
Um,
you.
I'm going to try to pronounce your name, Yatsa Saranskanda. What a beautiful song. Love your voice. Your songs tonight are so well crafted.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Here's another one, Paul Williams. I hope, is it the Paul Williams? Who's playing guitar? It soars above the song with your soulful
That
voice.
is Tommy Organ on guitar.
Yeah. I mean, it really, it complements your voice beautifully. Your songs really are so well crafted,
Thank
and
you.
it allows your voice to shine through. It doesn't overpower your voice. A lot of songs, and that's one of my pet peeves. There's a great vocalist, and either the beat is too loud, or the vocal is sitting behind the music, not above the music. And
Right.
your songs, to let your voice shine. I mean, it's really well put together. So
Thank
I
you.
just want to compliment you.
I have to give credit to the producers for that. They definitely do their job in making it sound well mixed and beautiful.
Well, next time when you're here, we're going to talk a lot more about how your songwriting, who's on your team, who you work with. But yeah, we have to wrap up. We're already over 15 minutes. So it's been a wonderful, delightful evening, and I want to thank you. And we'll have you back for sure. But why
Thank
don't
you.
you tell everybody where they can find you to
Okay.
become a fan and where they can buy your music?
All right. Well, my website is ayshamusic.com, and Aysha is spelled Aysha, and then music.com altogether. So that's my website. You can sign up for my mailing list. And I have a YouTube channel where you can also watch, and that's, if you go to the channel, it's just Aysha Music 1 with the number 1. And then you can find me on pretty much iTunes, Amazon Music, Apple Music. I don't even, is iTunes even around anymore? Is now Apple Music,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's still around.
Okay. You can find me on Amazon. Let's see, Apple, Spotify. All of my stuff is on Spotify as well. Pandora. They play me on Sirius XM occasionally still, not very often anymore. Just, but it's pretty much on all the streaming sites. I'm there.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And if you ever wanted a hard copy, I don't know if people are still using hard copy, CDs.
Oh,
I do have hard copy CDs, and if they want something, they can also, I think you can still buy something on Amazon, but if not, you can reach out to me on my website, and I'll even send you an autograph copy.
it would complement your music so much. Vinyl. Vinyl is the biggest selling
Right.
form of recorded music today. It's not
I'm getting a
digital.
new collection, of vinyl, not for my music, but I've been collecting people's, albums again.
Because, they have these beautiful album covers and people can sign them, and also because it's not digital,
Right.
so it's so much softer in tonality.
Mhm.
So anyway, look, it's been a wonderful evening. If you can
Thank
hang
you so
around
much
for a few
for
minutes
having me.
afterwards, we can chat, and we'll have you back soon. So thank you again so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. And thanks so much to all the listeners and all your wonderful comments. Really touched my heart. So I really appreciate it.
Terrific. Have a great night.
All right, you too.
Well, that was a wonderful evening. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I hope you did as much as well. By the comments that we got tonight, a lot of you really heard a wonderful vocalist and very talented artist. Next week, we have a great guest also. And, I want you to I'm Mel Albin. I'm the host and the founder of the Jazz Confusion Power
My name
Hour.
is Dion Parson, and I'm honored to share my passion of music with you, our listening audience, through my cultural heritage.
Things can change for you too. If you want to be brand new, that is absolutely possible.